G'day guys, welcome back to Fatty Margins. Well, while we're here, it seemed a perfect opportunity to continue my series on 2-month road trip reviews. And what I want to review for you today is the last of the cooking vessels, stoves that I took with me to America. And this is the Alpkit BrewKit. Now this is a there's no question about it, this is absolutely a Jetboil clone, but at a much reduced price. I think where Jetboil in the UK will cost you in excess of £100, and will brew probably 750 mils of water in the standard set, whichever one that is these days, because they've got so many different names I've lost track. This baby will brew you a full litre of water. So what do you get with the kit? Well, let me bring the camera down and I'll show you. Alright, so here's the brew kit. This is how it comes. It's got the fold down handle. I like that very much. It's got it sets really well. It's got the cover on it, which works. It doesn't come with a cup thing underneath, which I never feel the loss of. Plastic lid with strainer holes if that's your thing. No, doesn't do anything for me. Comes with a stand for like a stability stand for your gas fitment, your gas bottle rather, and that all locks into place quite nicely, and that'll take everything up to a big one. I'll show you one in a minute. But I tend not to use them, but I can see why people would want one. And then you've got the burner itself. And this is a nice feature. This is what appears to be just a stainless steel plate, but these babies, they turn out or in, depending on whether you're a half full, half empty kind of guy. And this fits onto the edge like that, and locks. If you do it properly, it kind of locks into place, which allows you to use a frying pan, allows you to use, well, basically any pot that you want to use, and use it just like a gas burner, which is nice. As you can see, it is starting to show a little bit of, there's a bit of rust going on there, so I don't know whether it's the rivet that they've used or what. I'll put a bit of something on that at some point. But that's a clever idea, and it doesn't take up any excess space. It just sits down on top like that, and that's sweet. I like that. So you got the burner. Burner is, again, like I say, is very much like the Jetboil. It did come with one of those, I don't know what they call them, little electronic starters. Now, let me look you in the eye when I tell you this. I don't want to be rude, but I've never had one that's lasted more than 5 minutes. You know, some people, people say, my mate Jim, the Alaskan bushman, he's got a Jetboil with a starter, and he says it's lasted him years. Well, I've never had one that's lasted me years, so take it where it comes from, I guess. Anyway, I slid mine out and gave it a flick. If you look right down, bloody hell, building's falling apart. Look down in here, you can see where it came from. Anyway, I just slid it out and tossed it. I boiled some potatoes in this fella first or second night, and that was the end of this. It just couldn't live with it at all. Done deal. What's this for? I actually wrote to Alpkit and said, what's the pin for? What does that do? And it doesn't do anything at all. It just stops idiots from putting pots flat on top of the burner. Go figure, right? It's the world we live in. So yeah. So what's the upsides? Well, the upside is the pot, really. The pot is, by Jetboil standards, absolutely enormous. If you look in here, that's the 1 litre mark there, right? So you've got a really full-size, proper 1 litre boiler going on, and that's great. We met up with the Alaskan bushman, and my mate Jim, he had a Jetboil. No, okay. The Jetboil does not boil a full litre of water. Whatever they say, I've not seen a Jetboil that does a litre of water, because if I did, I'd have one. I actually had a Jetboil. I was a very, very, very early adopter. I was over here. I had a Jetboil before they were fashionable, and I remember it being breathtaking, incredibly quick. My mate, we stopped at the services. I bought it for the purposes of avoiding having to buy British motorway services teas and coffees. And he went to the men's. By the time he got back, I handed him a cup of tea, and he was like, "Whoa, how did that happen?" And I said, "Well, I just brewed it up." So there it was. So it was very, very impressive. It's now doing service with my son, who's doing service for the country, and I'm without. So I bought this because these are very, very reasonably priced. I think they're about £57. Now Jetboil will set you back 3 figures. The difference is in performance. Same amount of water. I ran a test when I was camping with Jim. We ran a test, and the Jetboil just pees all over it. Really does. I was not to say this is bad. It's just to say that the Jetboil is that much better. It is much, much faster, and I'll tell you why it's faster, in my opinion. If you look at the bottom, it bears a striking similarity to a Jetboil. It's got the heat diffuser at the bottom here, right, to catch your flame, to create the surface area, to boil the thing faster. But what they haven't thought about is the fact that the Jetboil necks down closer, okay? And so these fins are closer in, everything's tighter, the flame is tighter, and so you get a much more intense boil, and so it works much, much faster. Now you can argue, well, okay, it's boiling more water, it takes a little longer. Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem. But in terms of outright performance, the Jetboil will outperform it. Does it outperform it to the tune of 60 or 70 pounds difference in price? I don't know. That's for you to decide what's important to you. But it is a solid bit of kit. I've got a pal who does canoeing. Goes canoeing, and he's a fellow motorcyclist, and he loves his. He lives by it. Every morning his wife drinks a lot of tea, and she just brews up a litre in his. He's also a cheapskate, which is why he went for the cheaper option. Righto guys, so that's the review. That is the Alpkit BrewKit. It's a nice bit of kit. It has its limitations, as I pointed out. The upside is that unlike some Alpkit equipment, which is now getting a bit more pricey, it seems to have maintained its really good value. So I'm going to put some water in it and fire it up, just because that's what we have to do on YouTube, and we'll go from there. I'll talk to you in a minute. Alright guys and dolls, here we go, we're back. We've procured a gas canister. I've got rather a lot of these because I'm expecting the power to go out anytime soon, and they were very cheap. So you screw it on like normal, make sure it's shut. Yeah, that's good. Okay, apply your legs. There we go. Okay, right, I'll move the camera and bring you down and show it all off. Alright, let's have a look. Okay, here we go. There we are. Right, so I've put a half a litre in here. I'll make a bit of tea, and there she goes. Pop the lid on, and we're off to the races. As you can see, I'm running a full-size gas canister, no messing, and I'll bring you back when it's boiled. Alright guys, I left that for a couple of minutes to go and sort myself out. And it's boiled in absolutely no time at all. So like I say, no complaints really. There you are. I went over to the car, had a bit of a fiddle to get the tea out, and in the time I did that, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, it boiled up. So it is still blindingly fast, just not quite as fast as the Jetboil itself. All right, guys, that's it for today. Appreciate you watching. Hope you find this helpful. If you're thinking of acquiring one of these, I'm going to sit down now, nurse my cold, and have a hot brew. In the meantime, till we meet again, this is Steve from Fatty Margins wishing you all every blessing, health and happiness. And I'm signing out for now. Ta-da.